Good morning, you guys. So, from that video yesterday I posted and that one scripture that I read, well, there's actually a couple in there that caught my eye. But again, the one with the desires of the wicked vanishing or melting away, something like that, right? Um, I was not so much focusing on it, but just bringing it into mind and question and asking to be ministered to by God from it to understand a little bit more, especially where I'm at, because I feel like that's not, it didn't just trigger me for no reason. You feel me? Oh, what's this? No, I stopped. But yeah, you know, when I read that, right, we're thinking about the desires of the wicked vanishing, and that can look like somebody at the job site cutting your pay or de promoting. I don't know if that's a thing, but taking away something from you at the workplace. Maybe even writing you up at a workplace. Maybe somebody's trolling you online or your bills is getting to you. Neighbors are acting a little rowdy. Whatever things that you could see people literally crying about in the Bible. Like, Lord, why is my enemies coming and attacking me? Lord, why am I being surrounded? Lord, why am I being crushed? You know what I mean? That those type of desires of wickedness. Okay. Uh I do understand we are to hate what is wrong and what is wicked and what is bad because I personally do. In fact, when I go to God and take that hate to Him, I realize that it's not really necessarily hate and anger because if I was to say that and look at how the enemy uses these things to come up and against me, attack me, that can look like a good friend. You feel me? That betrayal hurts and stuff like that. Yeah, we grow past it and all those other things. But the person is what I'm talking about specifically. I'm not talking about the actions. I'm not talking about the things where I can say that they hurt me and stuff like that. I'm just talking about a brand new, I wouldn't say a slate clean, but just to look at a person for a person, whether they be on shenanigans or not. Just that's it. Nothing extra else. Not to say we have to be ignorant of it, but I don't want to be walking around out here hating folks. In fact, I'm told to be forgiving folks. So if I can recognize that what I am supposed to hate, I actually love. And it's not to say I love wickedness. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying the environment of what it tries to produce to come against me. I love the trees, but if a storm come and blow falls on my house, yes, I actually might hate a tree now. If me and my sisters in conversation and get into a toughie, a battle of it's like whatever, then yeah, I just might actually have some feelings of hate towards her now. And that's not cool. That's not okay. And so that's where we got to get in a place of forgiveness. And when we do these things, we may not be able to be around them as much or conduct ourselves a certain way around them, aka boundaries, but healthy God directed boundaries, because we can still put up boundaries due to our own emotions. But if we don't take our emotions to God and get in the corrected boundaries, then that boundary is nothing but more foreplay for the enemy, if you ask me. And I'm not trying to sound crazy about that, but just to be straight honest with it. Uh, I just, I already know all things are working for God. So, what I want to say is, we really be all up and down the board with stuff because we're all individuals and it's hard to say what is okay for the next person, especially when you got to worry about yourself. And I think that's where it is. And I'm not saying the way that is ignorant, but with a way that is always in check with God. So then when we do come across these people that are wicked, and what I'm actually in a Bible I was reading earlier, and as I was reading it, I was like, that sounds like, I'm not trying to put words in my mouth, but it helps me stop, read, think, read. You know that meditation on the Bible. Come on now. But I am in Psalms 101, but it says, "A crooked heart is far from me. I will not accept what is bad. Anyone slandering his neighbor in secret, I will silence." And that's more so eyes, I hear God, but then also as well, I hear us as people, because we can say for ourselves that we're not going to accept anything bad and stuff like that, which I totally agree for, because I'm not down for the shenanigans. I'm not down for BS. Okay, quick for it. But when it becomes to outward things, we have to prepare ourselves to bring ourselves outward, because when we're dealing with inward things, it's inwardly. But then when those things become outside of us, we have to be able to bring us outside of us. Sorry if that does not make sense. But what I'm trying to say is, if I kept on reading, again, I don't really look for, when I'm reading the Bible, I already know it's God talking to me, okay? I already know. So I understand there's different authors. Don't listen to me. I stop. But it's talking about, no deceitful person will dwell in my house, and no liar will stand in my presence. And I know that's God talking, especially for his kingdom. He ain't playing. I know that one for sure. But I also understand people live their life like that too. Like, oh no, they're not coming in here, which I really well understand. I do. But I feel like I'm just feeling, and I'm just reading, and I'm just thinking out loudly with you guys, upon my faith and upon what I've been learning and going through with God, just we're going through this together. But yeah. As I mentioned before, people as well place themselves as such, and they do it wanting to have a godly mindset, but in a human manner, so it doesn't really have its full effect, I guess I would say, because I understand we have a godly cap on because God placed that there, and we also like to move it around, adjust it to how we want it to feel on us. But if we allow God to adjust the hat for us, then we'll be able to get that out physically in our human way that we should, how God wants us to, because we can do it on ourselves. Because we are already humans, it's a natural instinct to just go ahead and go forth in something. Even if we had to learn how to do better and get better, there's still, it's, for me, it's important to always go to God, even if I could be right or even if I could be wrong. He reigns over me. So I want to let him know that he reigns over me by continuously going to him, even if he chose me because he know I'm right. I want to show you. I'm not trying to prove to them that I'm right. I'm not trying to prove to them that you selected me because I'm right. I'm trying to prove to you that you selected me because I'm right. I don't have nothing to prove to them. And I honestly don't have nothing to prove to God either. But my loyalty is with God. So it's like I don't got nothing to prove to nobody. If I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it. And if it looks a certain way to the world, people pleasing, low, whatever worldly look, a human look it can present, I don't really follow through on too much. I'm aware of it and I make note of it, but I give that to God. I don't hold on to it too much, because then again, I feel like I'd be the person to tell somebody that they can't come in my house because I notice a spot or a wrinkle on them, and that's I won't cap. That's just not my character. That's not my type of integrity. And I know if I'm God's child and I am His house, my house is His house. Everything that I got going on here is His, and I know He don't want somebody coming into my house that is deceitful or that's a liar. And I feel like that's where discernment come into play, because they may come into my house thinking that they're deceitful. They may come into my house thinking they're a liar, but I already know this. I mean, like they're trying to come in and push in a certain way wickedly, but the wickedness is already seen. So that person, I wouldn't say they're no longer wicked, but they're no longer like a secret hidden agenda. It's nothing like your lies are no longer lies. They are lies, but I already know your lies. So I don't want to say I know your lies, but I know the truth over the lies. So it's like you're not even speaking lies no more. You're just speaking rubbish. You're speaking ignorantly. And now you're no longer a liar. You're no longer a deceitful person. You're just a person who is in the next chapter, 102, from 101 to 102 in Psalms. It says, "O Jehovah, hear my prayer. Let me cry for help. Each help reach you. Do not hide your face from me in my time of distress. Incline your ear to me. Do answer me quickly when I call, for my days are vanishing like smoke, and my bones are charred like a fireplace. My heart has been struck down like grass and has withered." And though people say godly folks who go through godly things with the character of God, we can say we experience these things. But when the wicked start experience these things as well, we assume that it's just what they reap and what they harvest. Yes, I understand that. But at the same time, they're calling out for help. They need help too. And if we aren't going to be susceptible to what God got to say for us and how He wants us to do it, these people will never stop having a heart feeling like it's vanishing, a heart that's never going to feel like it's going to stop being. I mean, it is according to God, because we have no power or say. God going to do what He's going to do. Even if we are willing to do what He wants us to do, He's going to still get it done. But for us to be in partnership with Him, to be in union with Him, and a whole lot more. So you can be blameless. I'm not saying we are perfect, but I mean, we know what we're supposed to be doing. We know we all babies around here. Like, it's not a time to be ignorant. These kids nowadays don't come out the pussy ignorant. They come out smart. I don't know. They just there because they genes got to be different or something. Something wrong with these kids. They awesome. But yeah, you guys. I don't know. It's it's not. Uh, it's not the wickedness that I'm trying to speak for. It's the people that I'm trying to speak for, and the people that are dressed in a manner that is presumed to be wicked, or that is just to be wicked, especially the things that my father hates. And I ain't gonna cap, I do too, but to see it in my human aspect, in my human eyes, and to see only what I can understand until God says more, it honestly hurts. I ain't gonna cap. I used to pray to God like, God, please help the enemy, help the devil. I used to literally pray to God to help the devil, because ain't no way, boy, you just that ain't no way. Like, after a while, yes, you look like a villain. But then when you get to thinking about how bad I am as a person and how many mistakes I make as a person and how much love I get, and then just to know that the enemy has brung out certain results for so much so far due to the Father's power. But it's just like, dog, you see what this man can do. And you are still battling. Like, how bad is the pain for you, brother? Like, I used to pray for the devil. Like that, like, come on. Come on. something really wrong with you and you know it and you know you need help. Just stop. Like, stop. I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, I was that kid. I, I didn't do it too often because somebody made me feel bad about it. But I mean, when you in a forgiving stage in life and learning how to forgive things, it looks like you even forgiving the enemy sometimes. It doesn't even look like when you get to a certain point where, again, you're constantly forgiving and being enlightened and given discernment and power and strength and might by God, you start to see that forgiveness is not always a thing that's needed, especially when you can see the difference between the things. And at that point, you're not angry, you're not hurt, you're not sad, you're not seeking forgiveness from either side, whether you got to forgive them or they got to forgive you. It's just you just want to push forward into it and hoping that the desires of the enemy do vanish with these people because you do love your neighbor. Though it hurts to love them, we are resilient in it, like, for a reason. Come on now, don't let's not play God's power. Let's not play His might. We're not to say we love them, love what is wicked, love how they are treating us, love how it makes us feel. We don't love how it makes us react, and we don't love how it makes us fall down into our sin to support a brother and sister. We don't love that part. We actually hate it very much. It's just it's it's sin is a natural and easy thing to get caught up into because it's a part of your character, it's a part of who you are. And I'm not saying the beat and meat and stuff like that, because that all comes with a certain mindset. And when people find out why they actually do certain things, they see the sin of it. Like, the sin creates habits. The beating meat is, yes, the sin, but the beating meat is the habit of the sin. Like, the beating meat isn't the creation, it isn't the start of the sin, it's somewhere else. That's just the habit of the sin. And I don't know, you guys. And that's what I'm saying. When you start to see your habits, you can recognize your sin. And then once you recognize that sin, and again, that's for me is being walked over, it's being talked about. I really don't care. I float the boat with you all day long. I don't it don't it hurt me sometimes. Sometimes. Here you hurt me a lot back then. But now it's cool. You feel me? It don't bother me. And if I never gave that to God, if I never gave God the reign of my weakness to be made a strength, it's not my strength that people walk over me. Now, I'm not saying that in no crazy way, but I'm saying it's my strength to be low now. That's my strength. I like that. And God loves it too. I know how to get up when He tells me to get up, but it's still a position that He knows that is for me. He loves it for me. That's my position. That's where I'm supposed to be. I am elevating at all times. Thank you very much. Just because I say low doesn't mean that I am low. I mean, I am here touching the ground on the earth. So how much? No, no, let me not say it like that. But I'm gonna try to cut it short right here. I hope this is a good video for you guys. It's not a 30-minute video. High five. All right, you guys have an awesome one. I love you.